And welcome here, sports fans. We're at the Tacoma Dome, the 9 p.m. late game, the 4A semifinal championship, as it will be the Glacier Peak Grizzlies facing the Richland Bombers. This is your Centralia College pregame show. And if you brought to you by the Welding and Training Program. Trade jobs are in high demand, especially for welders. If you are interested in high-paying career of welding, visit centralia.edu and blaze your trail at Centralia College. So Glacier Peak Grizzlies and Richland Bombers, both these teams had kind of an eventful routes to get here, and we'll get into that in our pregame show. But we take a look at both these squads. Glacier Peak was down 20 2 nights ago against the Camas Papermakers. Come back late and win that one. Then last night, down 10 with 3:30 left to go against Gonzaga Prep, and they once again battle back. They go to overtime and take care of Gonzaga Prep in overtime, and here they are. Talk about how Richland got here.
Well, Richland defeated the number 2 seed Tacoma in the regional round, which put them automatically into yesterday, where they played a Kentwood team. Richland shot 69% from the field, and they were able to take down the Kentwood Conquerors. So yeah, eventful day yesterday for the Bombers. One of the few kind of blowouts we've seen here in the Tacoma Dome, both sides, boys and girls.
Yeah, if we took all the way, look back to regionals, Glacier Peak lost in the regional round 65-54 to Davis. Then it was a 65-61 win over Camas yesterday, 64-58. As far as Richland, you got it right. They beat the number 2 Tacoma 77-55. And then from there, they win yesterday, a big win over Kentwood, 84-60. And here we go. The winner of this will go on to play in the championship game at 3 o'clock tomorrow for the rights to hoist the state championship trophy. The loser will go on and face who was Davis at 1 o'clock. So both teams will play tomorrow. Both teams will be bringing home hardware as we get set. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about these rosters as we get ready for tip-off here in this big semifinal match. This is the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic, brought to you by GISA Credit Union, powered by Eli and NFHS Sports Networks. And welcome back here, the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic. Sorry, everyone. I've game number 6 for me today, and voice is getting a little wary. But we got a big game. I am Rich Olson with Michelle Olson and Mac Schuster as we take a look at both these teams. We took a look. We'll talk about the Richland Bombers from yesterday. What do we got?
Well, yeah, the Richland Bombers played the Kentwood Conquerors, like we said earlier, shooting 69% from the field. Most of that came from Jack Forbes, who scored 26 points with 4 rebounds. But also Luke Westerfield and Landen Northrop, both with 18. Now, when we talk about these two teams, the one thing that Richland has that Glacier Peak doesn't have is the height. And the Richland has 6'10" senior forward Luke Westerfield inside. So we'll see how Glacier Peak matches up with him, because it kind of seems between last night and tonight that Luke down low might be unstoppable if they don't have someone close to his size.
I agree. That is the one area that definitely Richland has the advantage. However, you take a look at Glacier Peak, and they have some guard play that is nearly second to none in Josiah Lee and Isaiah Kohler-Bell, as they went off yesterday 22 and 13 respectively. Also, Reed Nagel, a huge game, 16. And then underneath, the freshman, Zach Albright, with 11. So Glacier Peak, they know how to play kind of a gritty style game, and they find ways to stay in ball games. And so it should be a great game for both these squads. I'm really excited to call this, as we are going to get set for the starting lineups. And go ahead with Richland. Who we got starting?
Starting off for Richland, it'll be the sophomore guard standing at Landen Northrop, who started last year in the state tournament for the Bombers, but also is getting the start here in East End at 6'4". Another sophomore is Lance Horntvedt, who is 6'6". He's a guard. And then shortly after, it's Jack Forbes, 6'4", senior guard. And number 12, Josh Woodard, the 6-foot senior guard. And last but not least, Big Luke down low, 6'10", senior forward.
As for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, they will start number 2, Josiah Lee, 6'2", wing junior. Number 3, Isaiah Queller-Bell, 6-foot wing senior. Number 11, Reed Nagel, 5'11", guard sophomore. Number 20, Zachary Albright, 6'4", wing freshman. And Jace Nelson, 6'3", a wing junior. So you're right, the size definitely advantages to Richland Bombers. Speed and quickness maybe goes the other way for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. So they are going to get to the starting lineup. Why don't we take a quick timeout, and when we come back, we will have tip-off of this big semifinal game here at the Tacoma Dome in the Hardwood Classic. And we're back as Michelle Olson is finally joining us. She was doing the semifinal 3A girls game, so she rushed over here just in time for tip-off. Michelle, who ended up winning that game between Meade and Snohomish?
So the Snohomish Panthers lost to the Meade Panthers by 5. But good news is neither team is going home. So Meade will be playing for the championship tomorrow, and Snohomish will be playing for 3rd and 5th.
Yeah, excellent job by both those squads, and congratulations to both of them, and good luck to the Meade Panthers tomorrow. Remember, the winner of this game goes on to face the Mount Si Wildcats. Glacier Peak lost to the Wildcats in the district championship, so they know each other. Richland Bombers in their whites with green trimming. Glacier Peak in their grays with blue trimming, as we are getting set to go what should be an exciting semifinal match here in the 4A.
And Rich, you said Glacier Peak and Mount Si know each other, but these two teams have never seen each other play, and first time here in the semifinals.
As we go up, it'll be Albright having to go up against Westerfield. Westerfield winning that, and Bombers start with possession. Josh Woodard with it. They work it around the arc. They look underneath. A good defense there by Albright. They're in a man-to-man defense is Glacier Peak. Ball on the ground. That's going to be, what are they going to call it? They're going to say jump ball.
Jump ball. And boy, Isaiah Couler-Bell, what a hustle play by him. Immediately on the floor.
So Couler-Bell really hustled there for the Grizzlies. They get it in. They'll go to Jace Nelson. Now bringing it up into the front court will be Nagel. He's looking for a high screen. We go to Albright. Bell has it. Underneath. Shot goes up. Off the window. Not good, but there to clean up the glass. Zach Albright. Glacier Peak on the board, 2-0. And it is Josh Woodard with it. They'll bring it in. A good-looking shot there, just off the front iron is Horntvedt.
And Westerfield had it, but wasn't able to bring it in.
Joe Lee now goes coast to coast. He'll put it up off the window. Won't go in. Quickly, Bombers the other way.
Just a miscommunication, able to save it from going out of bounds with Northrop.
So long 3-ball on the way with contact. The shot is good. And going to the free throw line will be Josh Woodard. And he has a chance at a 4-point play. A great looking shot there. The foul going to the Grizzlies. And
Woodard just elevated for that 3 and caught Joe Lee in the air.
Lee with his first foul. Free throw on the way, off the mark. Rebound to Albright. Nagel across the timeline, drives in left-hand side, now pulls it out. Great defense there. Albright up top as they are running a little weave pattern is Glacier Peak. Joe Lee puts up a long three off back iron. Rebound to Woodard. They go over to Forbes with it. Around the arc, a long three ball on the way, off the mark. A rebound's batted around. Northrop misses that one, and it's going to be a foul. And that foul, I believe, might be on...
It's on Horntvedt.
Horntvedt, his first team foul. So 2 minutes gone here in the first period. 3-2 in favor of the Richland Bombers over the Glacier Peak Grizzlies. And a man-to-man full-court press put on by the Bombers. And this is going to be stolen away, going to the lid, putting it up and in. And a huge bucket there for Northrop. 5-2. Three ball on the way off the front of the rim by Bell. And similar to what Grizzlies have done in this tournament, they have fallen behind early. As another shot goes off the mark. That one missed there by Woodard. Grizzlies quickly coming the other way with it. Nagel with it. Nagel out to Nelson. Albright gets it to Lee. Lee looks to drive in. Now hands off. Bell now with it. Bell shows the three. Drives in. He'll get into the lane. Tough shot off the window. They're going to call a foul. And we will see who they call this one on. I believe it'll be Forbes.
No, that'll be Horntvedt again. So that'll be his second personal foul.
Wow, that is the second on Horntvedt. And that's a huge foul applied by Horntvedt, as he'll probably have to come out and sit. Free throw on the way, up and in.
He will, and Chris Daniels will come in the game for the Bombers.
And we are only less than 3 minutes into this game.
So Christopher Daniels, 6'2" guard senior. The second free throw up and in. 5-4 is our score. Did he miss the first one?
No, he made it.
Yeah, okay. They got it right. I thought he had made it. Three ball off the mark. Big rebound there underneath. And how do you stop a Westerfield as he just positions himself, puts it up and in. 7-4 Bombers.
And like we said, that will be the challenge all day for the freshman Albright.
Backdoor cut, and there is Joe Lee as he shows he's going out. Northrop follows him, and then backdoor cut, and Lee gets to the bucket for a quick two.
They'll say that one was out of bounds off the Grizzlies.
So possession will stay with the Bombers. GP is the road team, even though they're the higher seed. It's because of what happened in the regional round. As Richland comes in with that first round bye, so they are the home team. Underneath they go. Albright defended well to Westerfield. And off the front of the rim, Albright with the rebound, nearly thrown away. Joe Lee with it. Lee has it up into the front court. Now off to Nagel. Both teams still kind of filling each other out here 4 minutes in. Joe has it. He'll drive in. He's got a lane. He'll go up off the window, kiss it, and drop that one in.
Left-handed, too.
Tear a drop off glass. 8-7 Glacier Peak. Bombers have it now. They're looking for a high screen. Getting it is Woodard. He'll drive in. Kick out three on the way. Missed there by Daniels. This will go out of bounds and possession to the Grizzlies. We have the Grizzlies fans in behind us, and student section letting young Daniels hear about it a little bit on that shot.
Well, Daniels is a senior, so not necessarily young. He's one of the more experienced players on this team. But yeah, 30-second timeout called by the Bombers. First time they've trailed in this game.
And we'll keep it right here. We'll talk about Napa. For all your home do-it-yourself projects and maintenance, head to your locally owned Napa Auto Parts store in Southwest Washington. Stop at locations in Centralia, Chehalis, Rochester, Tenino, Castle Rock, and Onalaska. Napa Auto Parts, more than 150 locations all across Washington State.
You take a look at a couple highlights. You saw two Bombers, and then back to Glacier Peak with the Joe Lee baseline low rim grazer.
That's right. And Max, you know what? At my age, everyone's young. Right? You're right. He's a senior. I'm literally almost a senior. So we go into the front court with it. Glacier Peak, another backdoor cut. Lee goes off the window. He'll miss that one quickly. Bombers come the other direction, and they're going to get it underneath. What a great pass. Missing it, but getting fouled will be Sylen Kiesel-Kauhane. He will go to the line to shoot two. So Kauhane at the line.
No good
First
on his
one
first.
Is no good. That foul was to Nagel. His first, second team foul. Next one on the way is up and in. So Glacier Peak Grizzlies and the Bombers, they're tied at 8, 3:10 left to go here in this first period of this semifinal 4A match. Around the arc, Bell has it, looks underneath, and it's going to be a three ball on the way by Lee, off the mark, rebound to the Bombers. And skying in the air is Daniels. He'll bring it up into the front court, over to Northrop. He'll drive into the lane, kick out pass, showing three, step back, shooting off the rim, and the offensive possession rebound to the Bombers. And it's Northrop that goes up. He'll get his own rebound again and miss for a third time on this position, and that's going to be an intentional foul.
Yes, good call by the official.
And just too much activity there by Daniels, and both student sections going crazy on that call. And I believe it will be Reed Nagel. He'll go to the line to shoot two. And really, Daniels was in a position to go ahead and just let the rebound happen and just apply no foul or even just a standard foul, but kind of swung Nagel around, and that's going to be called every time.
Every time, yeah.
And I think it was just out of frustration. They had a couple shots that wouldn't go in, and then Glacier Peak secured that rebound, and it was just a frustration foul.
I agree. Northrop had 3 opportunities to put that in, and they come away empty. And you're probably right, Michelle. Just a frustration foul there. Both free throws up and in. So 10-8 in favor of the Grizzlies. They will keep possession.
And Westerfield will come back in for Daniels.
So huge turn of events here as the Grizzlies get 2 in possession. Joe Lee, left-hand side, across the timeline, and we're going to get a touch foul there, and that will be against Forbes. That will be the 5th team foul, I believe, and nope, it is the 5th, so no, 4th. Okay.
We'll see a little discussion going on.
It is the 4th.
They're talking about making sure that
Forbes gives Lee room.
not encroaching.
Lee goes across the arc,
half court line.
half the court line. Sorry, the ball ends up in our laps. So that ball thrown out of bounds, over and back. Lee drove the lane. He looked at Albright, high to Albright, and over and back. So Bombers take a huge turnover there by the Grizzlies. 10-8 to our score. Just over 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter. And a 14-footer off the mark as Forbes missed that one. Front court they go with it with Nelson. Nelson looks at a 3. Back to Bell. Bell drives in behind the back. Over to Jace Nelson. He'll drive in. He gets near the lid. He'll put up a tough shot. He'll miss. Albright there with the rebound, and that will be deflected out of his hands. Bombers quickly the other way.
Yeah, we said it earlier. The height and low. Westerfield just got a tip on that, and that threw off the shot.
Forbes has it now. They'll bring it in. Underneath, they'll go to Westerfield, and Westerfield has his second bucket at the cup.
Good look by Woodard. He probably could have taken that shot there, but saw Westerfield underneath for the higher percentage shot.
So we're tied at 10s with just over a minute left to go in this first quarter. Entertaining quarter. Nelson has it, and a shot from the wing by Nagel off the mark. And Bombers looking to regain the lead. They'll go left-hand wing.
Albright working hard on Westerfield.
Forbes instead kicks it out to Northrop. They got 13 on the shot clock. They're looking for a high screen from Westerfield. Instead, a three ball off the mark. Skying into the air is Joe Lee for the rebound. Around the back dribble, getting into the lanes, Bell, and that's going to be partially deflected there, I believe, by Westerfield, and then a foul on the rebound.
Claire Bell had a 1-on-4. That's the time that, even though the time's running out in the quarter, that's when you wait for some teammates, pull it back, slow it down.
Yep.
Because 90% of the time, you're not going to win that 1-on-4, especially against guys like Forbes and Westerfield.
And if you miss, you're definitely not getting the rebound, and unfortunately, it costs your big man a foul.
So Albright gets the foul called on him. As going in, Northrop goes underneath, and what a find there as they find Sylen Kiesel-Kauhane. Lee will not get a shot up at the buzzer, and this is on the way, but it will not go in. So we are through one. Richland Bombers lead this one 12-10. We'll head to the second quarter. This is the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic here on Eli and NFHS Sports Networks. And welcome back to the Tacoma Dome, the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic, as we take a look at some of the replays of this first quarter. That sees Richland Bombers ahead at 12-10. I am Rich Olson with Michelle Olson, Mac Schuster, as it was an entertaining quarter for the Bombers. What'd you like, Max?
Well, I just think both teams played really well on both sides of the ball. Not shooting as well as Glacier Peak did in the second half of yesterday, and the Bombers throughout the whole game.
And Michelle, what about the Grizzlies as this shot is off the mark?
I think they're playing great defensively. They just need to remember to stay out of foul trouble.
So this shot is on the way, and I think we're going to get a foul on the Grizzlies, a push on Westerfield.
Let's see, that was either Zachary Albright or Jason Nelson.
I think we're going to go Albright. No, Jason Nelson, so only his first, so Albright not picking up a second. Northrop with it. Over to Kauhane. Driving in, dumping off. 8-footer baseline off the mark there by Westerfield.
Great box out by Jace Nelson there.
Into the front court. Nagel now with it. Nelson takes a look at a three, and he'll bury it.
Good-looking shot there by Nelson.
And a big shot there as he just spots up and drains about a 22-footer top of the arc. Bombers now go right wing. Northrop with it. Carries it back up top. Over to Forbes. Woodard looking at an opportunity. And with the Grizzly on the ground, they're able to get it into Kauhane. He'll miss, and the rebound to the Grizzlies. They're looking to push.
Albright, great rebound with two guys hanging on his arms.
Bell throws up a three. It's off the mark as Nelson comes up with the save, but he'll save it to a Bomber. And Bombers have numbers going the other way as they look to go underneath and through contact.
Oh.
And that's going to be the second, I believe, on Nelson.
I think they called that on Joe Lee.
So second on Lee.
They'll say he just reached in and got a piece of the arm. Horntvedt in for the Bombers.
Glacier Peak's going to have to play very disciplined and stop reaching in.
As they will go with a lob pass on the inbounds and putting that one in is Jack Forbes. 14-13 Richland. I agree with Michelle. This team is going to be called very tightly from what we can see. You're going to have to be much more disciplined defensively, both these squads. Joe Lee takes a look at a three. He's open. Off the mark, though. Lee, we saw last night, got into a nice rhythm in that game. Has not found a stroke so far here this evening. As an 18-footer, a wing jumper is up and in by Woodard. Lee will get into the lane. Left hand, he'll kiss it off the glass. It's in.
Great take there by Lee, and got it high off the glass.
16-15. Richland leads this one. 5.5 minutes left to go in this first half. As a lot of hands on there. Nothing called. And with it now is Horntvedt. Horntvedt looks to kick it out. He's able to. We'll go around the arc. 5 on the shot clock. As Bombers are having a tough time finding a bucket. They do get it up. And just missing is Westerfield. So good job getting a shot off as the shot clock was winding down. Nelson has it for the Grizzlies. A lot of contact. They'll go over to Bell. Bell will drive in. Tough shot through everybody. And looks like kind of a bailout call. Bell gets in the lane and might have got a little hand on wrist on that shot. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
That'll be Northrop's first foul.
So both teams are playing with players that have 2 fouls here in this second quarter.
Back in the lead, it's the Grizzlies.
Both free throws up and in, and it is 17-16, and we'll keep it right here, and we will do one of our reads.
Yeah, and we'll talk about John L. Scott Realty. We want to thank John L. Scott Realty in Centralia for their support of all high school athletes. When you need information on buying and selling in Southwest Washington from residential to business, contact Laura Lee Zuber at John L. Scott Realty in Centralia.
All right, 17-16 Glacier Peak, a back and forth battle like a ping pong match. The way the scoreboard's flipping back and forth. It's been a great game and kind of what we expected to see.
Yeah, and both these teams coming into it have had their strengths, had their weaknesses, and I think both are playing comparable to each other's strengths and weaknesses, and why it's a one-point game to keep going back and forth.
Right, and that just attributes to these coaching staffs on both sides. Quality coaching staffs, and you can tell they only had, 12 hours to prepare for this game, and they both prepared their teams very well.
Yeah, typically, you'll have morning meetings with the team, go through a walkthrough, maybe at the hotel, to kind of get prepared for this game. And you said it, Michelle, both these teams well prepared here as they're going to go underneath the Westerfield, and the Westerfield will flush that home. And a big dunk there. It now lead is 18-17 in favor of Richland. Scoreboard has it wrong. 3-ball on the way. Off the back iron there by Lee. Quickly coming the other way. Underneath they go again. Off the glass. Jack Forbes. 20-17.
Yeah, still need to switch the scoreboard up there. It's 2017.
Yeah, I see them talking over there.
They said it's going to take a minute for it to catch up, so they have switched it.
As Lee misses another one. They have it 20. We know it's not 22-15.
Yeah, but these scoreboards aren't the newest thing, so I think it's just going to take a little bit.
So quickly, Bell into the front court. As they'll go to Albright. Albright to Bell. Bell looks at a three and pulls it out. It's 10 on the shot clock. Driving in. Nowhere to go. It's Lee. He'll step back. He'll throw up another three, and this one is good. Lee with a big bucket, and it is 20-20 is what I know the score to be, unless I'm off somewhere. But right now we're going to call it 20-20.
It will be 20-20. I think they're just working to match it up.
And Westerfield, Albright, good position, but great footwork there by Westerfield. He drop steps to his right-hand side, puts it off the glass. 22-24. Or 22-20.
Yeah.
Sorry, the scoreboard is wrong up top. We believe right on the screen. We're going to go with what the screen shows until we hear otherwise. Lee has it. He'll put up another three. This will be blocked, and it will go out of bounds, but it will be possession to the Grizzlies, and they're going to get a timeout and get the scoreboard right.
Maybe we can go to a 30-second.
We'll see as they figure
commercial.
out. And we'll talk about that foul kind of right there, or not foul, but the no call. We'll see. Take another look at that. And I don't know if the ref saw that they blocked it first and that it was a kind of a pancake, and that's what the ref signaled it to be. But some Glacier Peak fans not happy about that, but obviously the officials, still the professionals here.
Yeah, and with it being blocked, it goes out of bounds. I mean, it will be possession Grizzly ball. I think what they are talking about is were they inside his where he landed, and because of the block, I think it's a clean play. We'll take a quick timeout as they get everything situated at the scoreboard. This is the Hardwood Classic here on Eli and NFHS Sports Networks. And welcome back. So the scoreboard and our screen are both correct now. Richland 22, Glacier Peak 20. And there was some heated exchange over there, but just to get things correct, and they have it right now. So it will be Grizzlies inbounding the ball, and look at that. Nice out-of-bounds play. They're going to find Nelson. He'll kiss it off glass, tie it up at 22 with 2:30 left to go in this first half.
That was a great drawn-up inbound play.
Underneath they go. They'll kick it now around the arc. Looking at a shot is Forbes. He'll put up a 14-footer elbow jumper, and it's in. Great-looking jumper there by Forbes. Glacier Peak Grizzlies are looking for the answer as they trail by 2. Joe Lee, he'll put up his own 14-foot jumper. He'll be fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. And almost the exact same spot that Forbes shot his, but contact this time, and Lee will go to the line to shoot 2.
And that's Forbes' second personal foul. And they've had him on Lee the whole time. So he needs to stay out of foul trouble for the Bombers, because that's who they're trusting, guarding the lethal Joe Lee.
Yeah. Foul is committed. First free throw up and in. Second one up and in, and we're knotted up at 24s. And neither team has separated themselves at all. It's basically been a one-possession game the entire time. I think the biggest lead might have been 5 for the Bombers. Bombers have it. They got 14 on the shot clock. Driving in is Northrop. And it's going to be Grizzlies. They're going to go the other way. And Joe Lee has it. He'll go to the rack. He'll lay it up with the left hand. 26-24 Grizzlies. Bombers not waiting any time. They quickly get it down to Westerfield. Westerfield puts up a 12-footer. It's off the mark. Rebound's going to come to the Grizzlies. And quickly Grizzlies go the other way. Albright was open. Instead, it's going to be Nelson with a shot. It's a miss, and it's going to go the other way. Joe Lee with a heck of a play to save a bucket, because streaking was Northrop. He would have had an easy lay-in, but Joe Lee making a heck of a play.
You're watching at home and you have young kids watching this game. That's why you hustle back on D no matter what. Joe Lee caught up to the ball, was able to save an easy lay-in.
So it will stay here off the hands of, or not off the hands of Westerfield, knocked out of the hands of Westerfield.
They'll bring freshman Jackson Woodard in. So Woodard, older brother and little brother, in now for the Bombers.
So don't want anyone to pick up a third foul, I'm guessing, is the strategy there. 3 ball. Oh, my goodness. What a shot there by Josh Woodard, as he comes in and splashes that baby through. 27-26. As Glacier Peak Grizzlies slow to get into the half-court set here. Now it gets to Nelson. He'll put up a 3 ball. He'll hit his second one, and he just hits nothing but twine there. 29-27.
A really good-looking shot by Nelson.
So Bombers get it into the lane. They'll work it around. They'll go across the arc, and now 18-foot baseline jumper off the mark. The ball is rattled around, finds the hands of the younger Jackson Woodard. He'll put that one up and in. We're tied at 29, 15 seconds to go. Glacier Peak's looking to hold for the last shot here in the first half. Now 10 seconds, nothing being called. We're down to 6. Nelson has it. He'll drive into the lane, kick out. Shot will have to go up at the buzzer. It will go in. Making that at the buzzer, Samuel Waldrow, and a big shot there for Glacier Peak as they end the half with a 31-29 score their favor. We'll step away from the action. We will come back with our halftime show brought to you by John L. Scott. This is the Hardwood Classic here on Eli and NFHS Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Tacoma Dome. The 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic is brought to you by Giesa Credit Union, powered by the Eli and NFHS Sports Network. And this is our John L. Scott Realty Halftime Show. Get to know your home and property true value with a free market analysis from John L. Scott Professionals. For Southwest Washington, call Laura Lee Zuber at the Centralia John L. Scott location. I'm Rich Olson with Michelle Olson, Max Schuster. First half where we've seen a lot of really great basketball. You have some highlights on the screen as we speak, but it's a 31-29 lead for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies at half. Take a look at some of the stats. What do you got, Max?
Well, I mean, first off, we got to look at, I think, the two categories that really define a game, and that's rebounds and turnovers. For Glacier Peak, they have 18 total rebounds, 15 of those defensive, and 3 turnovers. For the Bombers, they have 19 total rebounds and only 1 turnover. So that is why it's such a close game, because those categories are right within each other.
And the shooting percentages are almost identical as well, with 38% for Glacier Peak and 39% for Richland.
Another thing I want to point out, too, is when we look at yesterday's games, Josiah Lee obviously scored for Glacier Peak, but the other person who scored really well was Isaiah Coyer-Bell, and he only has 4 today. But for the Bombers, Jack Forbes with 28 points, I believe, and only 6 today, and Woodard's the Bombers' leading scorer.
The thing that I find very interesting, and you look at it, lead changes. There's been 10 lead changes. I mean, that is something you just don't see. And biggest lead of anyone was Richland. They had a 5-point lead. Michelle, anything stand out to you?
Yes, I am looking at free throw points. Glacier Peak has 8 points off free throws, and Richland only has 1.
Yeah, probably that right there is the biggest stat in the differential margin, is those free throw percentages.
And Richland's 1 for 3, so obviously less attempts.
Right.
But Glacier Peak 8 for 8, which is unheard of.
Impressive, yeah, for sure. And honestly, Glacier Peak has not been the most fabulous free throw shooting team over the regular season, so good for them to be 8 for 8 already in this first half.
Richland Bombers, though, I've been super impressed with how they've moved the ball around and have found easy buckets, mainly going to their big man underneath in Luke Westerfield, 8 points, 4 and 9 from the field, and he also has 6 rebounds. So he's on his way for a double-double for the Bombers.
Yeah, I mean, he's on his way to a double-double, but Zachary Albright, as a freshman, has done really good on him inside, keeping it physical. They've been going back and forth, and more so just not leaving it or not leaving him wide open. Only twice has he had a really good look on the inside.
Yeah. So with that, we're going to step away for a quick break, and when we come back, we will get into third quarter action. This is the 2024 Hardwood Classic here on Eli and NFHS Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Tacoma Dome, the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic, brought to you by Giesa Credit Union. And we'll take a look at the games coming up in the 4A bracket tomorrow. It will be on the consolation side. You will get Skyview facing Kentwood, as those two teams are going to advance. And that game will be at 9:30 a.m. The consolation game will be, right now, we know it will be Davis versus the loser of this game and and that will be at 1 o'clock. At 3 o'clock will be the championship game in the 4A. You take a look at the screen, you see some of the points and rebounds by both of these teams. And, nothing really stands out over the top except, like you said, Michelle, the 8 of 8 from the free throws. That's a big disparity and something to keep an eye on as we head here into the second half.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bombers focus on getting Jack Forbes the ball. He's one of the most dynamic scorers, or the most dynamic scorer on their team, able to play inside, but also from that mid-range. But now for Glacier Peak, I mean, honestly, Jace Nelson, I've thought has played really good at penetrating inside, but he also stepped out and has hit 2 big threes. And, I mean, that's part of the reason why Glacier Peak is leading by 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And the foul trouble early by Horntvedt was an issue, too. Luckily, Bombers were able to overcome that and not get into a position where Glacier Peak was able to take advantage of it. So no one's in foul trouble, and we're ready to go.
Just Horntvedt with 2, Forbes with 2, Josiah Lee on the Glacier Peak side with 2.
So here we go, third quarter action. Glacier Peak Grizzlies will start with the ball, and we are underway here. Nagel with it. As it is nearly stolen away. Bell will drive into the lane. He'll go up with a little right-hand hook shot. And look at that. The 6-foot senior with a nice shot to start this third period.
Way high over Westerfield's hand.
33-29. Reminder, the winner has a chance to play for the championship. And look at Westerfield finding a wide open Jack Forbes under the basket. A breakdown defensively there by the Grizzlies.
And the Bombers drop back into a 2-3 zone. First time we've seen this today.
Lee has it now. They'll work it around the arc, and this will be punched out of bounds. Possession will stay with the Grizzlies.
An interesting call by the coach, just because how good of a team Glacier Peak is shooting.
Yeah.
Bombers like their chances of getting out and closing out on shots.
So this is thrown to the backcourt. Dangerous pass.
Dangerous. Woo.
Had a lot of air underneath it, but Glacier Peak able to keep it. And there it is, another 3-ball by Jace Nelson.
He's feeling it tonight.
Yeah, typically not their number 1 shooter,
No.
but he's feeling that rolling.
So 36-31. Largest lead of the night by the Grizzlies. They'll pull it out away from the basket. Go inside. They look, and they are able to get it to Luke Westerfield. He'll kick it out. 3-ball on the way. Tough shot off the rim. Chase for the rebound, and it will go out of bounds. Possession to the Grizzlies, and a nice job there by Bell, kind of screening the Bomber player out of the way, not allowing him to get to that rebound. So now it's Glacier Peak.
And Richland back in man-to-man defense.
Yeah, so that didn't last very long. You kind of talked about it, Max. With the way Glacier Peak can shoot the ball, man-to-man's probably your best option. A drive-in, foul, go to the lane. And
that's going to be Jack Forbes' 3rd foul.
Forbes with his 3rd.
And I think if you're the Bombers, if Jason Nelson doesn't come out with a 3, you can stay in that 2-3 zone.
Yeah, for sure.
And definitely be able to close out on Joe Lee, because he's really the one guy who you have to worry about from anywhere. But with Nelson shooting like that, that's scary.
So Lee is able to rattle both home, 38-31. I 100% agree. If Jace and other guys are going to start knocking down threes, you're in trouble. And look at this play as Westerfield jams another one home. He'll be fouled, go to the line. What a shot play there by Westerfield through contact.
Now, before that play, Glacier Peak held the biggest lead of the game with 7. Take another look at that. Just slammed it down through the contact, and he's at the line trying for 3.
And Bell with the foul. Off the mark with the free throw. Rebound, though, however, falls the way of the Bombers. 38-33, under 6 to go here in the third period. Ball goes around. Northrop has it now. Driving in is Horntvedt, and they're going to get a foul on the drive. Shot will.
I think it's going to be on Bell again, reaching in. Just not a smart reach-in foul.
So Keller Bell with his second team foul. Westerfield has it. Albright holds position. Westerfield will get it back. He'll go up and in again. Albright will pick up the foul, I do believe.
Unfortunately, that was just a mistake by Albright. He played great defense. Westerfield put a shot up and missed, and he forgot to box out and just turned and was right under the net.
So Westerfield this time does complete the three-point play, and they get 5 points on that possession, basically, and changes this ball game 38-36, Glacier Peak. As they get it to Lee.
Now, a defensive change with Forbes with 3 fouls. They take him off Joe Lee.
Lee puts up a tough shot off the mark. Bombers bring it quickly across the timeline, and a spin move into the lane won't go, but fouled. Josh Woodard will go to the line. He'll have an opportunity to tie this ball game up.
I just love watching Woodard play. He is so fun to watch. He has quickness, agility, beautiful shot.
Jace Nelson with the foul. So you got 4 players now on the Glacier Peak Grizzly roster with 2 fouls. First free throw on the way, rattles around and pops out. And free throw shooting continues to be a big discrepancy in this contest.
That's Woodard's second miss from the charity stripe. Third miss.
And make it a third miss, but there to clean it up, Luke Westerfield. And just so tough to stop at his height. You just can't match his height on this roster by Glacier Peak. We're tied up at 38. Nelson has it. He'll go Albright. And this is poked away. And a free lane to the bucket, and therefore another jam, the third one of this game for the Bombers, and this will bring a timeout, as this will be 30-second? No, yes, it will be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here, and we will talk about the Eli Sports website. Be sure to check out Eli Sports Network website at elisportsnetwork.com. We have tons of coverage of the games that we do cover. Video highlights, interviews, pictures, and stories. Plus coverages of all kinds of sports, from Mariners to hydro racing and everything in between. It's 100% free. elisportsnetwork.com. So Richland on a 9-0 run has taken the lead 40-38. What do you like of what you've seen from Richland, Max?
Well, I think 2 dunks, more than anything. Yes, it's 4 points. However, it's a big momentum shift, and we hear the crowd across from us starting to light up.
The Shell Grizzlies giving up that 9-0 run. What do they got to do to get back their footing?
They've got a rebound. They are forgetting to box out. They're not crashing the boards and giving Richland second chance opportunities.
Glacier Peak gets into the lane. They will pull it out now. Nagel with it. He'll drive in the lane. He loses his footing. He'll put up about a 14-footer, and it's going to roll in. Big bucket there for the Grizzlies, tying this thing up at 40. Bombers have it. As it's Northrop. He'll get in the lane. It will be missed, and I believe we're going to get a foul there, and I believe that's going to be on Westerfield.
Yep.
Yeah, just using his height and over the top, and that'll be a foul over the back.
And there was no reason for that, right? Because that was over the top of Bell, and Bell is only 5'11" on a good day.
Says 6 foot on the score sheet.
With his shoes on.
And that's going to go. Oh, that's going to be
right in front of us.
And they're going to talk about this.
Honestly, to me, it kind of looked like it went off the knee of Josiah Lee, and that's what they'll say.
Great overturn by the officials.
And I think
we'll
Josiah
get a look
Lee
at
knew
that. I mean, look at that angle. Oh, yeah, it was off his hand. He just pushed it up tipped by Woodard, but Josiah Lee just tried to gain it back, and that'll be off of him.
Great job by our camera crew there with that slow-mo replay.
And another easy bucket and foul. Jack Forbes. Forbes having a nice quarter here for the Bombers. Albright, his third. And the 5th team foul here in this third period. Free throw on the way. It's badly missed, as that will be out of bounds. It touches nothing.
You don't see that very often from the free throw line.
Not at this level of competition, for sure. In my 40 and over men's league, it happens quite often. So we go the other way. 42-40 Bombers. Josiah Lee with it. He's looking to make a move. He'll drive in. He'll stop and pop, and that's a great call there by the officials, as getting in underneath. And that is going to be Josh Woodard with the foul. A lot of contact there that Lee took on that shot.
That's Woodard's first personal.
And Joe Lee, he makes things really tough because he's kind of a herky-jerky type of lefty. And this is going to be, I believe it's a 30-second timeout.
No, they're changing it to a full.
It is a full. We'll step away from the action. We'll be right back to 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic right here on Eli and NFHS Sports Network. We'll be right back. And we're back. Championship basketball semifinals 4A boys bracket. And Max, you want to do a shout out?
Well, I just think it's time to shout out our camera crew, our awesome crew. All high school students, produced cameras, everything about it from multiple different schools across the state of Washington. So they've done a great job throughout the tournament, and once again, a great job here tonight.
Really, really huge applause to you guys. We just have to show up and talk about the game. You guys have the hard work, and a great job.
And long days, 14, 15-hour days.
So thank you. So Lee will step to the line. First one rolls out. Lee's next one. That one's going to nearly be identical. It does find the front of the iron and rolls in. 42-41 Bombers. So driving into the lane, a dump pass there, and coming up with it. And Forbes right now is just taken over.
And at the half, I said they're probably going to go to Forbes, and he's created his own shots more than anything.
So 3-point advantage for Richland. Lee, tough shot. Oh, that is tough.
Great finish.
My goodness, through two Bombers, and he'll go off the glass and put that one up and in. And we're going to get a travel as steps there, and the possession instantly goes back to the Grizzlies.
Woodard gets an earful from Coach.
So Lee up to 18 points now for the Grizzlies. He's leading all scorers.
And they'll trap him up at the top, trying to force something.
They'll go to Bell. Bell has Albright, but he'll put up a shot. He'll miss. Albright there. Put the putback. He'll be fouled. He'll go to the line. And Bell draws two defenders on that. You had the dump pass over to Albright. Instead, with the shot, Albright's able to clean up the glass, and out of position is the Bombers. The foul and Albright.
That's on Westerfield. That's his second personal.
And have the foresight to up fake there first before Albright went up.
Albright missing that free throw, though. 45-44. Glacier Peak regains the lead. 2.5 minutes left to go. Driving in. And, wow, we are just seeing some unreal basketball by both these teams. As driving in, Josh Woodard, similar to what we've seen from Lee, he'll drive through the lane.
Was that Albright on that foul?
Albright's, and
that's his fourth.
And that's huge. Bombers are probably going to attack inside. We'll see, but they brought in Adam Loom, a 6'5" senior forward.
Yeah, Adam Loom will have a tough task trying to defend Westerfield. This free throw on the way. It's off the mark. 46-45. Neither team able to convert the three-point play on back-to-back possessions. This is nearly stolen away. They'll go to Lee with it. Bell looks at a three, now drives in. Nowhere to go. Kicks it out. Lee somehow comes up with it. They'll work it around the arc. Lee now back with it. Bell, a long three ball. It is up and in. Bell catches and fires, and he finds nothing but twine. Great shot there by Bell. 48-46. And once again, a good-looking shot. And they're going to say foul on the floor. Jack Forbes goes into the lane. He has point-blank land. He misses. Rebound to the Bombers, and then a foul.
Looks like that's going to be on Bell.
That's his third.
And
Now, when you saw that, I couldn't tell if it was either a foul or a jump ball. When they first blew the whistle, instantly they went to the foul, though.
Yeah.
I have to go back to the key of the game for GP the second half is boxing out. And again, they just let Woodard hang out down there by himself all day long. And the ball ends up in his hands with 3 Grizzlies near him.
So the Grizzlies starting to get in foul trouble as a team. Multiple players with 3 or more fouls now. We are nearing the fourth quarter. It's 48-48. Grizzlies with the ball driving in. Bell dumps it off, and mishandling it is Loom. And not quite ready to receive that pass.
And Loom just got in the game, and I think he kind of got excited. He saw Westerfield and maybe liked his chances and just got a little happy feet.
Yep. So Bombers looking to regain the lead.
Chase Nelson working hard on Westerfield.
And that's going to be a foul. That one's going to go against Loom, I believe. And going to the line is going to be Northrop. And you can't continue to foul every possession and keep putting the Bombers at the line. I know they haven't been great from the free throw line, but you are giving them free opportunities. And this one's up and in by Northrop. And you got to like what the Bombers are doing. They're attacking the basket on every possession. They're forcing the Grizzlies to play defense and play it with their feet, but hands are getting in there, and those fouls are mounting up.
And a reminder, Forbes still playing with 3 fouls as well.
Nelson has it. He'll go to Lee. Over to Loom. Loom will be fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And that will be Forbes who will pick up his 4th foul.
So now the Bombers are in a little foul trouble themselves. Not nearly as many players with multiple fouls, but 4
Key players.
key players, absolutely. And Loom steps up and buries that free throw. He has a chance to tie it right here with just under a minute left to go.
Jackson Woodard coming in for Forbes.
Free throw on the way. Looks good. It is good.
2 big free throws from Loom, who just got in the game.
For sure.
We're tied at 50s. Bombers with possession. Under a minute here to go in the third quarter. Yes, it is Woodard with it. And Woodard steps back and hits a giant 3. As that is a massive 3 with 45 seconds left to go in the third period. A lot of reaching there, and Northrop's going to foul, and that is going to put to the line Jace Nelson to shoot 2. That 3, massive shot there. Put that in the running for play of the game. That free throw rolls around. Didn't want to stay in, but it does. Big bucket there.
Up to 12 for Nelson this evening.
Next free throw, it's in. 52, 53, 32 seconds left to go. Bombers can almost hold for the final shot.
Quarterbill will meet Woodard at the half line.
They'll go underneath Westerfield. He'll be fouled. He'll go to the line. It'll be interesting to see where this foul goes.
You can see the coaches for the Bombers are saying, throw it down.
Yeah.
'Cause if he throws that down, it's an and one play.
Absolutely. This will be the second on Loom. First free throw on the way, just off the front iron.
There has been a lot of free throws shot between both teams in this game.
Glacier Peak needing to box out, get a possession. Free throws up and in. As they will sub in, coming in, Samuel Waldo. So 54-52, 21 and 2/10 seconds left to go here in the third period. Glacier Peak has a chance to tie, perhaps take the lead before the fourth quarter. They're going to go to Lee with it. Lee back to Nelson, 9 seconds. Nelson drives into the lane. He's going to look to attack Westerfield off the mark. Rebound goes the way of the Bombers, and a shot goes up. A whistle came in.
And he was going to call a travel.
On Waldo, if Waldo secured it.
Well, I think he was going to call a
travel, but the ball was in flight.
The ball was in flight, and then time expired. So that's what I'm going to guess he was going with.
Yep, so 54-52 in favor of the Bombers. We are through 3. When we come back, we will have the conclusion of this game in the fourth quarter. This is championship boys basketball here at the Tacoma Dome and the Eli NFHS Sports Network.
Well, we were just talking at
Sorry,
the break.
we're back. Thought it was a minute timeout, but break.
A weird little glitch in the commercial break, but yeah, we were just talking what would have happened if they even called a foul.
Yeah, if they call a foul on that, a lot of contact on that play. We think they were going to call travel, but had that been a foul call, does that go down as a shooting foul? He threw up a hook shot from 80 feet away. It would have been a fifth foul no matter what. That would have been 2, but it's all for naught. 54-52 is our score. Final period. Bombers lead it by 2 with possession. As they'll go around the arc. Coming in is Horntvedt now, and that's going to be an offensive foul. And that is going to go on Josh Woodard.
His second.
Only his second. Not liking the call is Woodard. I think they got it right, though.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't really watching that. I saw the defender slap on the ground, but I couldn't see if there was a push off or anything. But my guess is there was.
It went down pretty violently. So 54-52 is our score. Nelson has it. He's waving Nagel off. This ball is going to be nearly stolen away. Lee does a good job at keeping it. He'll put up a tough-looking 3 off the front of the iron. Rebound is going to come to the Bombers. Nearly went back to Nagel, but Westerfield able to secure it.
A lot of action on that.
So good defense being applied there. Into the lane, Westerfield is there for the easy 2-point bucket, 56-52.
Adam Loom has to stay home on Westerfield. He's getting baited to come across the key there, and he's got to stay home.
Grizzlies need a bucket. Don't want this to get too far away from them. As they're going to go to Loom. Loom will look at Bell. Over to Lee. Lee looks up, fake. He'll drive into the lane. Step through, left hand off the window. It's good.
Man, I don't even know how that's really possible.
Yeah, how do you defend that? Joe Lee has long arms, and he can just elevate.
He has that ball so far extended away from his torso, but just the strength to get that up and in. 56-54.
I'd like to see Loom stay home here.
As this will be a jump ball possession to the Grizzlies.
And Forbes back in the game with 4 fouls for the Bombers. We'll see And
This is early. 6 minutes left.
and I wonder if what they saw with Kiesel-Kauhane in there, if they think he was doing a good enough job that they're willing to risk it just because of how big of an offensive threat Forbes is.
So Grizzlies with it. They'll go over to Loom. Now to Lee. Down 2 is the Grizzlies. They're going to go to Loom. That's going to be travel.
He's going to travel.
He saw the rim, and he tried to throw it down right there. Either way, it would have probably gone back to the Bombers with Westerfield standing right there, but he definitely got excited.
Yep. A tough turnover there by the Grizzlies. Back to the Bombers. And driving into the lane and coming up with a shot, and that's going to be a foul there. And that is going to go against Bell.
And that's going to be his 4th.
That's going to be his 4th. And Brian Hunter talking to Bell about being smart with your positioning. Be in a spot to where you don't put yourself.
Beat him to the spot. You know where he's going. If he gets by you, leave him, beat him to the spot.
Northrop
don't chase him.
Makes the first one, misses the second. Free throw shooting has not been great for the Bombers. Will that come back to be a factor in this ball game?
It usually does.
So Lee with it, and Lee another jumper as he is just having one heck of a ball game. He's up to 22. And there with a contorted shot up and in, Josh Woodard answers right back. 59-56. Just over 5 minutes left to go in this contest.
They put Forbes back on Lee, even though he has 4 fouls.
Lee over to Nelson. 3-ball up and in. We're tied once again with 5 minutes left to go.
And his 3-ball shot has been on the point today.
I believe his 4th. He's up.
He has 4 threes.
Driving in is going to be Northrop, and he'll get an easy look at the cup. And once again, just oversized are the Grizzlies against these Bombers. Lee has it. Does he look to attack Forbes? He'll put up a long 3 off the mark. He'll get his own rebound.
Wow.
He'll go to Bell. Bell will have a great look at a 3. That's off the mark. And it's Westerfield that comes down with it.
I'd like to see Grizzlies get a stop here without fouling. They've got to play with their feet.
And as Northrop steps back, and he'll put that 18-footer in. 63-59.
Northrop is playing very confident right now. He's saying, give me the rock.
What's on line? A chance to play for the state title. The winner advances. The loser has a chance to play for 3rd. Joe Lee with it. 13 on the shot clock. He'll drive in. He'll go through contact.
That's a lot of contact for no foul.
And instead, it's going to be a foul on Lee.
That's his 3rd.
I believe it. Yeah, you're right. It's his 3rd.
Joe has to remember that he doesn't have to do it all by himself.
Albright will step back in, and we're going to have a timeout. As we will find out if it's a full or a 30.
Looks like it's going to be a 30.
We're not sure yet. It's going to be a full timeout. We'll step away. This is Championship Basketball here on the Eli and NFHS Sports Network. And welcome back here to the Tacoma Dome State Basketball boys action at the 4A division. It is the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic. It is brought to you by GISA Credit Union and powered by us here at Eli and NFHS Sports Network. I'm Rich Olson with Michelle Olson, Max Schuster producing. 3:45 left to go. A 4-point lead for the Bombers with possession. A bucket here, and you get into that territory where you start having a little bit of separation, although we've seen Glacier Peak come back twice already in this tournament.
This is probably the biggest possession of the game right here.
Here we go. Northrop gets into the lane. He'll put up a shot, and it's up and in. And really, Northrop right now just using his body and size, and he's found a couple 8-foot jumpers in the lane. And he's hit them both. Lee with it. Lee looks at a three. He'll drive into the lane. There's Albright. Underneath, Albright will have that blocked. He'll pump fake once, pull it out. They're down to 10 on the shot clock as they'll have to work fast. Nelson has it and nowhere to go. And Lee will have to put up a long three. It does hit back iron, but will not go in.
Actually, a really good shot for just forcing it up.
They'll go around the arc. Three ball on the way. Off the mark there, as missing that one is Horntvedt. And we're going to get a travel there. As
Glacier Peak needs to remember they need to calm down. There's still almost 3 minutes left. They don't have to have a three right here.
And you saw Jace Nelson kind of just saying, slow down, calm down. Yeah. There's still lots of time left.
Right.
Bombers with it, with a 6-point lead, 2.5 minutes to go in this contest.
Both sides getting loud.
As it's worked around the arc. Three ball on the way by Woodard. Rolls around, pops out. Rebound to the Grizzlies. Grizzlies need a bucket here. They got to cut into the 6-point deficit. Joe Lee with it, right wing. He's looking for a high screen. Here comes Albright. And there's Westerfield with the help side defense. So go over to Bell into the corner. They're down to 10 on the shot clock. And the foul's going to be called.
That's going to be on Woodard, his third.
Yeah, third.
But only second team foul of the quarter. Jolie will throw it in. 2:05 left to go.
And Woodard's been the guy who's been able to be aggressive. Now with 3 fouls, we'll see if that changes.
Underneath they go.
Oh, and that's a push.
No, that's going to be just mishandled. I think they get it right. It rolls off of Lee out of bounds. Lee doesn't like the call, but it's going to go that way. Brian Hunter really doesn't like the call. It'll be a full timeout. Yeah, we'll keep it right here. We'll talk about this. 2 minutes, 2 seconds left to go. And we'll get a quick read in and talk about this final 2 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Napa. For all your do-it-yourself projects and maintenance, head to your local owned Napa Auto Parts store in Southwest Washington. Stop in at locations in Centralia, Chehalis, Rochester, Tenino, Castle Rock, and Onalaska. Napa Auto Parts, more than 150 locations across this great state of Washington.
2:02 left to go. Richland with possession and a 6-point lead. What is Richland looking to do here on this possession?
Well, I think if you're Richland, first things first, take some time off the clock. There's no need to rush anything. But then also make sure to get some points on the board, whether that's you attack inside. I mean, Albright still has 4 fouls, and if he checks out with 5 fouls, that would be huge. It's the inside. I mean, we saw Loom play good on inside, but not really able to stop Westerfield.
And not an offensive threat.
Exactly.
Either. Yes. And Isaiah Cooler-Bell has 4 for Glacier Peak. Josiah Lee has 3. Adam Loom has 2. Jace Nelson has 2. For Richland, foul trouble, we have Northrop with 2, Horntvedt with 2, Jack Forbes with 4, Woodard with 3, and Westerfield only has 1.
They have him down for 2.
Yeah,
two, excuse me.
So Bombers get it across the timeline as they try to get into their half-court set. Kind of a trapping defense by Glacier Peak. It allows Westerfield to get open at the lid. 8-point deficit now for the Grizzlies. Driving in, they'll go to Lee. And an on-ball screen happens for Lee. But really well defended by Westerfield, and getting back on defense is Forbes, making it tough on Lee. Lee has Albright under the basket, and that goes right through Albright's hands. A tough pass to even try to corral. That thing had some zip on it.
Rich, we had a perfect angle of that. He had Albright wide open. Too much zip, and Albright just couldn't quite get a hold of it. It did nick him, though. And so it was there, but.
Yeah. Bombers now 8-point lead with 1:10 left to go as they look to punch their ticket to the state championship.
Glacier Peak has to foul.
Glacier Peak's letting it play out as they're down to 6 seconds on the shot clock, driving in. And there's the foul now. That's going to be Lee with the foul.
I mean, I just don't see the point in that. I mean, why are you fouling with 6 seconds on the clock? If you're going to foul with 28 on the clock.
Because that resets the shot clock.
Right.
Like you were saying, it's huge.
It just makes zero sense.
And I don't know if he was really trying to, but just a little hand check.
Yeah.
Either way, you got to be careful.
Well, it's the coach's responsibility to figure out how they want to play this one out. And that almost could have been offensive. They're going to play on, and now we will get the foul.
The ref kind of stepped into it as it was going to be a charge.
And that's going to go the way against the Grizzlies.
Now, Westerfield has to be careful. There's no point of even pushing that knee out at all, which he definitely did a little. The ref just didn't. It wasn't quite enough for him to call.
So 42 seconds left to go, 8-point lead. As Grizzlies, there is the foul by Nelson. Foul line activity now. And you're starting to see the look on the Glacier Peak Grizzlies' faces as it's starting to set in that their dream of raising the state championship might have nearly left as this free throw's up and in by Northrop.
Let's see. Free throw shooting's been rough all day for the Bombers.
But down the stretch, they've hit a few key.
Especially Northrop. Northrop has been sent to the line, and especially here at the end of the game, he kind of took over.
Yeah,
he's 4 for 6, and then I think he scored 6 points in this last quarter.
Yeah, Northrop's really had a great second half for the Bombers. The 30-second timeout. We'll keep it right here. 10-point deficit, 39 seconds left to go. I think we know where this is headed, and Richland most likely, we won't quite award it to them yet, most likely will go on to face Mount Si for what will be the state championship.
Yeah, we'll see. This game, we said it before the game, was going to be an exciting game. And here were 39 seconds left. No doubt has it been an exciting game.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have the dangerous Joe Lee as a shooter, but you're up to a 4-possession type of situation now for the Grizzlies to even be able to tie this.
The biggest thing is they can't foul Joe Lee on or anyone on a 3-point shot.
Absolutely. And they'll go around. Bell will drive in. He'll get to the lid, and it will be taken away by Westerfield.
Horntvedt was out of bounds on that.
And they are going to try to get a 10-second call. They won't, as that will be the foul there. 13.9 seconds to go. And the Richland Bombers, they will punch their ticket. They will play for the state title against the Mount Si Wildcats. As far as the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, they still have a chance to, I believe, get their highest finish in school history, as they will take on the Davis team. I believe it's the Davis Pirates. And Glacier Peak faced Davis earlier, and it was a 65-54 win by Davis, and this is going to do it. And the Bombers are going to celebrate. They will have a chance to play for the championship tomorrow, 3 o'clock against the Mount Si Wildcats. What a game we just saw as the Bombers come away with a 70-59 win over the Grizzlies. We'll step away from the action. We'll have our postgame show. This has been state playoff championship basketball here on the Eli and NFHS Sports Network. Welcome back here, the 2024 WIAA Hardwood Classic. Once again, brought to you by GISA Credit Union, powered by Eli and NFHS Sports Network. Glacier Peak Grizzlies battled from a 20-point deficit in round 1, battled with a 10-point deficit in round 2. Richland Bombers, don't let them come back late, and they come up with a 70-59 win over the Grizzlies and Richland Bombers will have a chance to play for that state championship tomorrow. This is our Alderson Awards post-game show. For trophies, awards, t-shirts, and so much more, go to aldersons.net and check out their full catalog. And right now, we have some business to do, and it's going to be taking it to the house, play of the game. And what do we got?
Well, I think we kind of talked about this over the break, but me and Michelle, we both had one key moment where the Bombers took back the lead and kind of took back the game in control, and that was 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Woodard, the shot clock was winding down. He hit a deep three with a hand in his face, and it felt like after that, the other Bombers started to feed off that energy, and I think that'll lead us right into the MVP.
Yeah, so real quick, taking it to the house with the Northwest home team of Better Homes and Garden Realty, the Gillespie team from Summit Funding, and Paul E. Lee of Country Financial Insurance taking it to the house, play of the game. As far as our MVP, our Thorn Books Wellness Center MVP, who do we got, Michelle?
Well, right now, our viewers at home are looking at the stat leaders for Glacier Peak and Richland, but our MVP is not included on that Richland list. He is not our high scorer. He is not a guy that had the most rebounds, but we felt like he had the most impact in this win. He came alive in the fourth quarter and took control of this game, and that is Landen Northrop. He ended up unofficially, we don't have the official stats yet, but unofficially he came away with 12 points. But those points came at key moments, and then he was 4 for 6 down the stretch from the line.
Well, and I think we talked about shooting from the free throw line all day and how the Bombers did it pretty poorly for the most of the game until the end. And the only person who really, Horntvedt hit it last two, but the person who made the free throws was Landen Northrop. And when you talk about a game like this that goes back and forth and back and forth, you need, and with people exchanging shots, you need someone who's going to step up and make those shots. And for the Glacier Peak Grizzlies, Josiah Lee was getting those shots. He was, and he was putting them up, making crazy left-hand lay-ins off the glass like we saw multiple times. But when it came down to it, the Bombers and Landen Northrop especially, he made his shots down the stretch.
For sure. And, of course, we're going to give honorable mention to Jack Forbes, Joshua Woodard, and Lucas Westerfield. They contributed immensely as well. But Northrop was just that spark.
So Northrop, he will be our Thornbecks Wellness Center game MVP. Strong today, stronger tomorrow, strongest together at Thornbecks. Well, that's going to do it, as this is the final game here on day 3. We'll head to day 4, as it is, once again, the Richland Bombers winning this one 70-59 over your Glacier Peak Grizzlies. I am Rich Olson with Michelle Olson and Mac Schuster. This has been an Eli and NFHS Sports Network. Have a good night, everyone.